Hello lovelies, today we're going to be covering some basic hand stitches found in my PDF downloadable tutorial found in my Etsy shop for making this little bird and her nest sleeping bag. So the first thing you'll need to do is cut out your felt pieces. I recommend using wool felt. You can find links to both the pattern and my recommended supply list on my blog in the links below. You'll need 2 pieces of felt for her back and front, and we're going to be adding some embroidery, facial features, and a few little appliques to make her super cute. So first you're going to start with making a basic knot. If you're very new, this is very much a beginner tutorial, and you'll need to loop the thread around your finger and pull, roll the thread between your fingers and then pull tightly like you just saw. And as you can see, there's a nice big knot that won't be coming through the wool anytime soon. So we're going to start, the first stitch we're going to do is called a loop stitch. And this is just going up and around to adhere this little applique to the bird front. You could also do a running stitch or a back stitch, and we'll be covering the back stitch later. I'm assuming you probably know what a running stitch is. It's just going up and down through the fabric. I didn't think you needed to see that one. So as you can see, we're just looping it around, creating these cute little thread loops. And when you come around to the edge, it'll look more like a loop because you'll be able to see it. It won't be obscured by the back piece. So just go slowly. If you have to rewind it or pause it or whatever, don't feel bad. It's you should see me trying to learn how to crochet. I have to rewind and rewind and rewind. So it's just muscle memory. Once you get the hang of it, it's really relaxing and really fun to do. Now right here, I'll just be trying to get my thread coming back out of from behind the front of the bird. This will allow me to use the same bit of thread to add the wing, the little heart-shaped wing applique that also comes in the pattern, of course. And in this way, you don't have to rethread your needle, and it's just, there's a lot more continuity to it. And it inserting the needle back to where you just kind of pulled through, it helps hide that second non-loop. So after adding the wing, simple way to tie it is to cut the end of your thread off, separate the 2 pieces of thread, and do a double knot. I'm only going to do a single knot because just for time's sake. And then we will go ahead and move on to the embroidery stitches next. I'm using a dark gray thread to do the eyelash and beak separation for her face. We'll be using a back stitch for all of it, and you're more than welcome to use a pencil or something to kind of draw out and lay out where you're going to thread, but I kind of, this is the pattern that you can buy. But you know, it just depends. It's up to you. If you feel comfortable not, just going freehand, that's what I decided to do. And I kind of messed up right here. The thread didn't, it knotted up. Sometimes when it's long it does that. It kind of knots up funky, and then the original thread I made pulled through. So I had to remake the knot, but you know, that happens sometimes. It's not a big deal. Just snip off the original knot and redo it. So, and then once we get into the back stitch, it's really good for making lines, because you can't use running stitches or anything like that, because if you try to make a continuous line, sometimes the thread comes back through the fabric where you don't want it to. So back stitch, we don't have to deal with that, because you're making one single regular stitch and then coming up to where there's space between your original stitch and going backward, hence back stitch. And this creates a line without having to worry about the thread falling back out through the back of the fabric. So when you're happy with the front of your bird and you're ready to stuff her like a little stuffed animal, we're going to cover blanket stitch next. So once you've threaded your needle, send it through the middle of between your pieces. This will hide the knot between them, and you'll just have little stuffing of wool or something like that. Do a regular loop stitch right on top of the original stitch where the knot is, and then you'll go to do a second one, but then you pass the needle through the loop and over, and this pulls the thread over and creates that nice pretty line, the little blanket stitch line on the top, and this will go all the way around. Blanket stitch is probably my favorite hand stitch because it's so cute and it makes things look so finished and polished, and it's it looks a little complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's very soothing, and I just love how it makes little felt creatures look. So this, you just continue all the way around, and before you finish up and knot it, you will need to stuff her with either like a desiccated cotton ball or some polyfill, or even just some needle felting wool is what I use, because that's just what I had on hand. And with this pattern, you could also create a needle felted bird instead of sewing with wool felt sheets. I might do a video if anybody's interested in that. Go ahead and comment, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is what she looks like finished and stuffed, and this is the first one I made. So and this is her little nest sleeping bag you can put her in. And the nest uses all of the same stitches that I just taught you. So you can turn them into little brooches, or put a little ribbon on the top and make it a necklace, or just a cute little pocket pet for a child or yourself, a little desk pal or something like that for work, just something to make you smile. If you make one of these yourself, please tag me on Instagram, and if you liked this video and you'd like to see more, please give it a thumbs up and give me any ideas for other things you'd like to see. Thank you so much for watching.